everybody, I'm back with another eye tutorial. This time I'm drawing this one. The first step to drawing this eye is studying the reference and looking at things like the eye shape, iris, the eyeliner if it has it, and the lashes. You can create mental or visual guidelines, that's really up to you. And remember that all eye shapes look completely different depending on genetics and all that jazz. Okay, let's get started. So I personally like to use mental guidelines for my drawings. It's a little less time consuming and it's nothing you can't fix up with Liquify. So for my base sketch, I'm using Silhouette from my brush pack, and I'm creating just a rough sketch. I'm not focusing on perfection. I'm also not erasing with an eraser. I am just buffing it out with a smudge tool, and I think it really helps with creating the more softer sketches. You'll notice a pattern with the way that I draw. I tend to draw on one layer a lot of the time. So if you're the type that likes to draw on 50 layers, this tutorial might not be for you, but this is kind of just the way that I like to do it. So you'll see a pattern of drawing, buffing it out, drawing, buffing it out until it gets to how I like it. And now at this point, I am using a bit of a sharper, cleaner brush. So now I'm gonna begin coloring. I'm gonna set that sketch layer to linear burn, and I'm gonna set that layer opacity down a bit to around 75, and then I'm going to color under that sketch. Now is the time that I first add the base of the skin color for whatever eyes that you're drawing, and then the white of the eye, which is, remember, never truly white. It's usually darker than white, maybe like a gray, a bluish gray, or just depending on the environment. Next is the color of the eyes, and then I'm kind of just adding some, it looks like on the reference there's a lot of blush around the eyes, so I'm adding some pink on some of the spots that I see it on. And then again, and not surprisingly, I'm buffing everything out all in one layer. Honestly, you don't have to buff it out as much as I do. I tend to do that when I'm not feeling happy with my own drawing instead of starting over. I think the thing about it with buffing it out is it's you're almost unrendering it, if that's a word, in a way where my brain can still see what I'm about to draw, so then I can kind of fix it without completely starting from a blank canvas all over again. Otherwise I'm just gonna not draw it at all anymore. As you can see, I buffed it out again for the 5th time. I don't even know. I start to lose count. So I'm fairly happy with the harder rendering here, but I do want to add some thinner lashes. My favorite brush to use for that is Fine Hair, and it makes these really thin lines. They're good for lashes or even like hair strands where you just want to add like the tiniest details. So I'm gonna begin shading inside like the eyeball. I make a new layer on top and I set it to multiply. You can set it to linear burn too. I also use that one if I want it a little bit more saturated. That's kind of the only time I'm really working on different layers. Like I'll make a new layer, I'll draw what I need to draw on a specific type of layer, whatever. Then I always at some point blend it all together. I mean, like pinch all the layers into one and then like, airbrush things and kind of like blend it all together. Now at this point, I'm adding much darker shading, and I also added the pupil, which honestly I kind of hate drawing the pupil. I always feel like it doesn't look right, or it looks I don't know, like it just doesn't go there. But like once you like put the highlight in the eyes, it kind of just brings it all together. So I try to like ignore it. And here I'm using even more liquefied. Just I think I had taken like a break and I came back and I'm like, holy crap, like that looks like so bad. It doesn't even look like it. So, but it's nothing that liquefy can't fix. Don't start over. Like liquefy is your best friend. So really try to use that as much as you can. Also, I know sometimes it's hard, like you want to finish a drawing, but like maybe like take a break for like an hour or even a day, come back and with like fresh eyes, you'll see some of like the things you should like fix and use liquefy with. Also, flipping your canvas helps a lot too, so you can get like a different perspective of it. And now I am still blending, I'm still adding harsh lines, so it's kind of just a mixture of blending, and now I'm rendering on top of the drawing and brightening the iris, adding some of the, I'm just trying to copy like the reference, and I'm trying to look for like some things that I can add into the drawing to match it. And I'm gonna begin doing just some of like the subtle highlights before I do my favorite part, which is those highlights right there. I think that's what like really makes the eye just look like an eye, or even just like your whole drawing. Once you do like the highlights on any drawing, like that's just it's the cherry on top. Okay, so now I'm gonna use color balance to kind of mess with the colors a little bit. I think mine was looking like a little too saturated, so I was kind of trying to bring that down just a little bit. It's still kind of saturated, but I think that's kind of just like a personal preference thing. Like I'm not trying to replicate the drawing one to one. I still kind of want it to be like cartoony and stuff. And also this is very optional. I like to add kind of like a painterly look. You can start with a painterly brush from the beginning, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I kind of just add that at the end and add just some like textures all around the eye, so it's more visually appealing. Also, I don't typically draw on top of like a blank canvas that looks like a canvas, like a painter canvas. I usually just use white and like lightly put like a canvas texture on top of my drawing. And then I think also here I am going to brighten the, I guess, whatever whites of the eyes, even though that's like a bluish grayish. But yeah, I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I truly hope this video was helpful. Even a little bit would make me so happy. Okay, bye.